Today is Monday, February 3rd, 2025, and you have joined Ask a Care Navigator, Mondays with Maureen. Hello, everyone. My name is Maureen Williams, and I'm the Director of Care Navigation here at Four Seasons, the care you trust. And we try to create this space on most Mondays to talk about issues associated with living well and aging well, and perhaps how Four Seasons might be of service. If you have any comments or questions, you can drop them into the comments box, either now live or later, and we will respond to you. You can also call us at 866-466-9734, and we'll drop that information in the box for you as well. Or please go to our website, which is fourseasonscare.org. Spell out the number 4, FOURSEASONSCARE.org. And there's a way to submit an inquiry, ask questions, share information. Plus, you can learn so much from their website. And today is the second time we're simultaneously broadcasting live on both Facebook Live and YouTube. So check out our YouTube channel as well. And again, my thanks to our Director of Marketing, Heidi Clemmer, for helping set all this up. New technology to share more information. Well, for those of you who joined me last week, I did a show and tell, and some of these documents were included that I'm going to talk about today, because I shared about how to create a to-go bag, and it really generated a tremendous response. Thank you. So I thought I would spend some time sharing more information about advanced care plans, advanced directives. I'm done a presentation on that just a couple weeks ago. I'm doing one in the morning in Franklin, North Carolina, and it's a topic that I hold really important in my life, and I hold it important for those of you whom I serve. And please know that Four Seasons, through Care Navigation or home care, hospice, or palliative care, we're happy to discuss all of this advanced care planning with you. So I thought I'd do some show and tell and share with you how to find some of this information for yourself. Now, please know that most of what I'm going to share with you, all but one document, is for North Carolina only. But if you're viewing from other states, and I know many of you view from other states around the country, you can Google in your state the things that I'm about to show you, and I'll tell you how as I go along, okay? So let's get started. The first document that I like to share in these situations is called an advanced directive for North Carolina. It's a practical guide for a healthcare agent. This is a document that is used in North Carolina, and you can find it in your other states, and you can just Google or search for North Carolina Advanced Directives, Virginia Advanced Directive, Colorado Advanced Directive, and you'll see probably lots of legal firms pop up with their documents, but you will have one that is specific to the state in which you live, or district or jurisdiction, as the case may be. Now, in the state of North Carolina, this document has actually 3 parts. The first part is the healthcare power of attorney. The document, the section where you designate someone to make make your healthcare decisions, on your behalf, should you become either incapacitated or incompetent. This person is only able to make your healthcare decisions only if you are incompetent, or only if you are incapacitated, or both. You hear my emphasis on only. This person or persons cannot step in and make your healthcare decisions for you while you still have competence and capacity. Please hear me clearly, okay? But it's this document where you get to designate who that is. And it actually, in this document, in North Carolina, you can have a secondary and a third person to act in that capacity, should the first one or this person prior to that not be able to do this. And I've even learned from a very special elder law attorney that your healthcare agent in the state of North Carolina is not obligated by law to function in that capacity. Let that sink in for a minute. So choose carefully. This person has to make your decisions should you need that, and be asked to make some very difficult decisions, like sustaining life support, or what to do with your body upon death, or you see, it can get a little dicey there. So that's the first section, and there's a lot more information about that. And this practical guide actually tells you how to go about doing that. And please talk to whomever is going to be your healthcare agent. Don't just surprise them with it, okay? The second part of this document is called a living will. Now, you don't have to have a living will, but I think it's a good idea. A living will is specifically used in the situations where you're not able to make your healthcare decisions and you're at the end of life. It lays out specific wishes you may or may not have at the end of life. It tells that your emphasis is on comfort and quality and no life prolonging measures. It goes into more specific detail on that. So the person you may name as your healthcare agent may also be asked to honor your wishes at end of life. Again, you don't have to have the end of life pieces. I recommend it. I really do. Keep the communications and conversations going with your family or loved ones. And finally, the third part of this is where it becomes a legal document. And that's where you have to sign this. In the state of North Carolina now, there are exceptions in other states for what I'm about to tell you. In the state of North Carolina, you have to sign this in the presence of a notary public and in the presence of two witnesses, all at the same time. Now, if you're acting on someone's behalf, there are ways to work with that. If you're that person's legal guardian, etc. But you have to sign this document in front of a notary public and two witnesses in the state of North Carolina. In some states, you don't have to have witnesses. In some states, you only have one witness. So very specifically, in North Carolina, these are the instructions. And then this is where you give those special instructions also to your healthcare proxy, or for your living will circumstances. There's a place to indicate you want, oh, I'm sorry, that was your healthcare agent, or to indicate that you wanted to have any organ donations. There's two places to sign all of that. Okay, so here's the notary public page. Okay, so that's a document that I spend a lot of time with clients and people I serve. And in fact, if I don't help you with that document, I'm more than glad to notarize it for you. I am a notary public. So the first advanced care planning document I wanted to share was the advanced directive. That included the healthcare power of attorney and the living will, which has to be signed in the presence of a notary and two witnesses. All right, another document in the state of North Carolina is a durable power of attorney. Now, this is one that I pulled off the web. I just Googled North Carolina power of attorney or durable power of attorney, and this popped up. It's called the North Carolina Statutory Short Form Power of Attorney. Again, if you're in a different state, if you're in Minnesota, you can Google durable power of attorney. If you're in any other jurisdiction, Google or search durable power of attorney. This is the document that becomes effective immediately upon its signature. This is where you're designating someone to act on your behalf to make decisions concerning your property, such as your bank accounts, your assets, your home. This person makes financial and business type decisions on your behalf, and it becomes effective immediately in the state of North Carolina. This may be different in other states and jurisdictions, so read the language carefully. Suppose you are in the hospital and you're very incapacitated, you're very weak, and you can't keep up with your business, your money, you're paying your bills for whatever reason. I'm using a not so far-fetched example, but because it does happen. This person can step in and make sure your bills are being paid, the heating oil is getting to the house this time of year, etc. Can step in on your behalf. And what you do is you designate one agent. There's also space for a successor agent, should the first one not be willing or able to serve. And then should the second person not be willing or able to serve for whatever reason, there's a second successor. So you can have up to 3 names designated here. This document lays out what this person is acting on your behalf. For example, commodities and options, retirement plans, taxes, banks, and other financial institutions. You check that the person may do all of that or only some. There's an optional section for specific authority to be able to make gifts or create rights of survivorship. These are all optional, but there are options here. You're just going to add in any other additional provisions. And remember, as soon as you sign this in the presence of a notary public, it goes into effect immediately. You only have to have your name. You just sign it in the presence of a notary. That's it. There are no additional witnesses required in the state of North Carolina. Okay. Now there are other forms out there. And in fact, if you're working with an estate planning attorney, those estate planning attorneys will work on maybe a different form, but they want to make it very specific for your needs. A third document sort of related to the advanced, well, it's an advanced care healthcare directive, is 5 wishes. I'm doing an event about this tomorrow in Franklin. It's a very special document. You get this from 5wishes.org. I'll drop that in the comments. And it's a beautiful document that really crafts who your healthcare agent is and a living will. It's all rolled up into one. And it crafts your wishes around not just your medical wishes, but your emotional wishes, your spiritual wishes, things that are important to you mentally and emotionally. Very important. And it's a whole booklet. And each wish has its own section where you can write in specifics. Here are my wishes. You can mark out anything that's, there's some pre-listed wishes, and you just mark out anything that wouldn't apply to you. And the 5 wishes are: the person I want to make care decisions for me when I can't, the kind of medical treatment I want or don't want, how comfortable I want to be. That's a very special section. How I want people to treat me. Another very special section. Get very personal in that one. And what I want my loved ones to know. Probably the most personal one. What I want my loved ones to know. And each wish has, various lists, and you can leave all the wishes there as you wish, or mark things out as the case may be. And those are the instructions. For example, I had one of these when I lived in Virginia, and I was very specific about who and what I wanted around me if I were dying. And those are still my wishes. Now, in this document, you can also choose your healthcare agent. And there's room for 1, 2, and 3, just like there was on the advanced directive healthcare agent here in North Carolina. Well, this is valid in many states and jurisdictions, not all, but because this is in North Carolina, the instructions will be very specific. And when you fill out this document and you sign it, if you're in the state of North Carolina, it has to be signed in the presence of a notary and 2 witnesses and notarized. Very specific. Go online and check out your 5 wishes. You can even activate it. Once you've initiated it, there's a little card you can cut out. You can register it with the 5 Wishes organization. You can also register all 3 of these documents with the Secretary of State of North Carolina. And I can drop in the box how you can find that. Actually, that's sosnc.gov. You can register all of these documents with the Secretary of State in North Carolina, and probably in other states as well. Now, the 5 Wishes is the only document that I have that works across the country, most states, not all of them. But the other 4 documents I'm going to be showing today are just for North Carolina. Okay, 2 more documents that come up in conversations frequently related to some of this. Many of you, I will ask, if your heart stops beating or you stop breathing, do you wish to be resuscitated? Do you wish to have CPR performed to you, the chest compressions and the breathing support? Many of you do not wish to be resuscitated. And if that's the case in North Carolina, you have to have, by law, this document in its original form in your possession. Let me say that again. If you do not wish to be resuscitated in the state of North Carolina, you must have this original document on this exact form in your possession or prominently displayed near you, your person, in order for the EMTs to not resuscitate you. By law, when 911 is called, if someone, well-meaning friend, you've stopped breathing, your heart stopped beating, and a friend calls 911, when the 911 personnel get there, they're looking for this. Trust me, on a refrigerator door, a bedroom door, they're looking for it. And if they don't, and if it's tucked away in an envelope in a drawer, and they don't see it, and your friend or no one knows where it is, they're required by law to attempt resuscitation. Please know that. You get these from your physicians, from your medical providers, from your nurse practitioners, from your physician's assistants, whoever your providers, medical providers are. And I encourage people to have more than one. You can't make you can make copies, but then they're not valid. You can have a copy, but then it's not valid to be enforced. So I tell people get more than one. Some people keep one in a purse. Some people keep them in a wallet or a glove box or on the refrigerator. And you have the right to that. And then in the state of North Carolina, there's another form called a MOST form. And that stands for Medical Orders for Scope of Treatment. Medical Orders for Scope of Treatment. This has other names in other states. It might be a POST form, Physician's Orders for Scope of Treatment. It might be a POLST form, POLST, Physician's Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment. You can Google this or search for this, rather, in whatever state in which you live. And these types of forms will pop up. Both the do not resuscitate type forms and this one will pop up. So you can see what they look like. And these are both medical orders that have to be signed by your medical providers, be it a physician, a nurse practitioner, or a physician's assistant. And the MOST form goes over 5 areas. I call them hot button topics because they are. The first topic is the resuscitation status. So you can have both or just this one. The second hot button topic has to do with medical interventions. What's the extent of medical interventions you would like to have should you become unable to make your own decisions? The full throttle, go to the hospital, get everything done, to maybe limited interventions at the hospital to comfort measures only, keep me at home. Those are options. The third hot button topic has to do with antibiotics. So interestingly, antibiotics, particularly at the end of life, are a hot button topic. Some people want antibiotics full throttle. Some want maybe time interventions of antibiotics. And some say, no antibiotics. Just keep me comfortable. The fourth hot button topic covered by the MOST form has to do with IV fluids and hydration. Very hot topic. Some people say, give me all the IV fluids I need. Just keep me giving IV fluids. Yes, I'm simplifying this. Some say, just do a time-limited version of IV fluids and hydration. And the final option there is no IV fluids or hydration, particularly at the end of life. And the fifth very hot button topic has to do with tube feeding and artificial nutrition. So it might be, yes, give me a feeding tube, permanently. That's the primary source of my nutrition. I want that. To maybe a time-limited option, to maybe I do not want a feeding tube. Do not give me or insert a feeding tube. Because these are medical orders, they have to be signed by a physician, nurse practitioner, or physician's assistant. You have to sign them. And these have to also be in their original form in order to be enforced. Again, emergency medical services personnel in the state of North Carolina are looking for this form or this form when they walk in the door. And if they don't see them, they have to proceed as if they were full on everything, all interventions go. Okay? So this is just kind of a walk down show and tell lane through some of the forms that I think you should have. That I think you should have. You should definitely have, everybody should have a healthcare directive. Please, a healthcare directive or 5 wishes. Please. It's a gift you give to yourself and your family. I also think it's a really, 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 really good idea to have a durable power of attorney. And some people, in particular times of life, I won't make any judgments for you, but these documents, one or both, are a really good idea. Make your wishes known. Make your medical wishes known. I like to tell people these are you telling your doctor what you want to have happen. I like that. Sometimes that works. All right. So when we talk about advanced care planning, these are just some of the forms that are used. There's lots of conversations that go behind these forms. Please start having conversations, even casually with your loved ones, or if you don't have family members, someone and people, friends who might be willing to step into those roles on your behalf. Start these conversations at any age. At the age of 18, you should have one of these. I didn't. I'm thankful I'm okay so far, but I think it's a gift you give to everyone. And I do have these forms in my life. I have an advanced care planning. And that's important to me. And it's important to my husband as well. He has them. We try to practice what we preach. Okay? Well, I hope that's helpful. Call us with any questions, 866-466-9734. Go to our website at fourseasonscare.org, and we'd be glad to help give you any additional information. So join me next Monday, February the 10th at noon for another episode of Ask a Care Navigator. at Mondays with Maureen, and we'll see what's bubbling up next week. Thank you so much. It's always a privilege to be of service. Take care.